I am going to be creating a level 5 rogue assassin for the D&D 5th edition rule set. I'm going to be using Fantasy Grounds version 3.3.9. If you've never used this software, I do recommend it. Today I'm going to walk you through the steps of character creation, and I'm going to be building a half-orc assassin, and this is going to be a female half-orc, and I'm going to use the persona from Two Worlds. I actually like the NPC character, the female half-orc assassin from that video game franchise. So if you recognize the art, that is where it's from, is the game Two Worlds. So I'm going to get started here. First thing I'm going to do is I have a blank sheet. I'm going to go ahead and put her profile picture up here. So if I double click up here, I can go to my collected folder that I've created. And I'm going to use Darfa's portrait. And as you can see, it makes her portrait the default token. So I actually made a token for it. So I'm going to go to the token library. And PC token. These are ones that I've created. I'm going to drag that over. And now she has a separate token from her portrait photo. The reason I did this, because this will stand out better against a square grid. Otherwise, I would have just left it because they are the same photo. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put her in the combat tracker, and I'm going to give her a name. So maybe I'll just use Darfa. Darfa the Dark. Now, I don't think she's, evil for no reason, but I do think she has a little mean streak in her, especially being an assassin and all. So I'm probably going to make her neutral evil, and that way she's pure evil, not just maniacally evil or, practice. But lawful evil comes to mind, so we'll see what happens there. So I'm going to go ahead and add the ability scores. So I'm going to use the standard array, 15, 14, 13, 12, 10, and 8. So definitely going to give her maybe a 12 in charisma. I'm going to give her a, like a 8 intelligence. Maybe wisdom. And let's see, I'm going to give her a 15 con. Um, 15, 14 in dex, and a 13 in strength. So 15, 14, 13, 12, 10, and 8. So in Fantasy Ground, you have to give them their ability scores first. And if you don't, it won't calculate properly. So now I'm going to pick her background. So before I get that much further, I'm going to make sure what I have loaded here. So I have the Sword Coast Adventures Guide and most of the core books, Mordenkainen's, Bolo's Guide, Xanathar's. Yeah, I think that's all the most common books. So that'll be helpful. And then I have the core books. And of course, Rob 2E's coding effects package. Alright, so I'll go ahead and open the background. Let's see what we get. So she could be a street urchin. I think that's kind of standard for a rogue, because she gets sleight of hand and stealth. So maybe she was an abandoned child, since she was half orc and half human. She could also be a criminal. I don't see her going out of her way to steal, but she would get deception and stealth from that. And then she could be a faction agent. That might make more sense. So, urban bounty hunter, maybe. Uthgardt tribe member, possibly. Maybe she works for the Zentarum, an agent of the Zentarum. Yeah. So you get insight and one intelligence, wisdom, or charisma skill of your choice, as appropriate to your faction. You get a badge, a safe haven. I don't know. I think the urchin works better for her, so I'm gonna drag that over. And she got stealth, sleight of hand for that. City secret, and she got disguise kit and thieves tools. That's pretty cool. I can live with that. Next, I'm going to drag over her race. So I'm going to go to the races banner. Let's see. So this is going to be half-orc. And she was given +1 to con and +1 to strength. So she's pretty strong. And then she has a dexterity of 14. So I'm actually going to swap these out. So I'm going to change this one for 15 and this one to 14. That's because I didn't plan it very well, but 16 con is good. So that works. And I think that's good there. So let's see. Because I don't need her to be super buff, but dexterity is definitely a must. And she's going to have a lot of hit points. It's going to be harder to take down. Let's see. So she's an assassin type. So let's pick her class. So I open the class and level up. I am going to take a look at trying to, let's see, I'm going to grab the class first. So I'm going to pick Rogue. Now I get 4 skills. So right now I have Intimidation for being a half-orc, Sleight of Hand, and Stealth. So I'm definitely going to take probably Acrobatics, Athletics, Perception, and Deception. Performance, Persuasion, Sleight of Hand. Yeah, that would work. She's got quite a few skills for being a first level assassin type, so that's cool. Well, okay, so I'm going to level up to level 5, because that's where ultimate level is going to be. So in Fantasy Ground, if you have all your books loaded, you can go ahead and drag this over and then back in. A lot of people have a problem with that. So that just automatically adds. Now she's second level. I'm going to do it again. And this time it's asking for the type of rogue. So I'm going to pick Assassin and go ahead and click this check button to confirm. And she was able to get a few things there. And now I'm going to drag it again. She's got an ability score improvement. And she got more health. And one more. Okay. So she got uncanny dodge. She's got a couple more hit points. There we go. So for 5th level, let's see what she gets. So let's see. That's interesting stuff. Alright, so that's the base of the build. So she has all her skills. And I'm going to add Thieves' Tools because she also received those as part of her background for her tools and such. So I went ahead and deleted that because I don't need it twice. So she probably owns a set of Thieves' Tools. And she has an ability score improvement. So I can pick a feat or an ability score improvement. Probably do the improvement, but I want to take a look at the thieves. So she can be a grappler, which would be handy, or an assassin. Resilient would help her more on her con. Spell sniper, no. Squat nimbleness. So she can get strength or dex, increases her walking speed by 5, and she gains proficiency in the acrobatics or athletic skill. She already has both of those. And you make to escape from being grappled. Okay. Yeah. I think I'm going to just have her do the increase. This is cool options, but it's easier. I think the ability score increase is the better choice in the long run. So definitely going to give her 1 in dex. And I think for the sake of prosperity, I might give her a +1 in charisma. That way she can impersonate things better and use her charismatic based skills a little bit better. So that's what I chose. So dex and charisma. So these are the skills that she's honed. So I made a notation here. Let's see. So she has Thieves' Tools and a Disguise Kit. So I'm going to come back here and add these to her skills. So the Disguise Kit will just give her a bonus to, you know, her disguises and whatnot. All right. So now she has a Disguise Kit and Thieves' Tools as a proficiency. Thieves' Tools are going to be based on Dex, obviously. And the Disguise Kit is going to be based on Charisma. So she's all ready to go. Now, I have to look at her roguish archetype. 3rd level, she can emulate exercises of thieves, all detailed in their respective chapters. Your archetype choice grants you 3rd, 9th, 13th, and 7th. Okay. Uncanny dodge. 5th level, when attacker that you see hits, with an attack, you can use your reaction to half the damage. That's sweet. Sneak attack, we'll deal with that. Expertise, that's the one. So you can pick 2 skills or 1 skill, your proficiency with thieves' tools. So I'm going to be proficient, expertise. So I think her expertise would be her, maybe her stealth. That would definitely help. And perhaps, what else would she have? Maybe their thieves' tools, but she's not really a thief. So maybe sleight of hand and perception. So she's got double perception and doubled in stealth. So again, that comes from her rogue abilities. So that takes care of that. I've added all the stuff. Now in her inventory, I want to make sure she has these items. So her disguise kit is going to come from the player's handbook. And then she's going to get a poisoner's kit, which I'm just going to give her because she's an assassin. So I might make a skill for that. But she's not really proficient in poisons necessarily, so we'll have to see. And then I'm going to give her a mess kit. Nah, she don't need that. I want to keep her as light as possible. So then I'm also going to give her, let's see, disguise kit or thieves' tools. Okay, thieves' tools. All right, so those are her equipment. So she has a disguise kit, thieves' tool, light armor, simple weapons. Okay. So for her, being that she's 5th level, I'm going to give her 1 magic item, other than maybe a potion of healing. So in her inventory, I'm going to grab a potion of healing and drag it there. So here's a potion of healing. And I was going to also give her a leather armor. That's +1. So +1 leather armor. That's worth, anywhere from 500 to 1,000. It's pretty sweet. So that's what she's going to get for her special item. It says fine leather. That's because it's not identified. So if I do this and I click that, it'll change it to leather +1. So now if I go to her main tab, she has a 15. So if I open that up, it shows a base of this. Her armor is 2. And she gets a +3 from her dex. And she gets her full dexterity bonus. So the +2 must come from her armor. So there's that. Alright, so that's that part of it. What desktop theme are you using? It's Fantasy Grounds. They have not given permission. Yeah, this is the regular Fantasy Grounds. And this desktop theme was created for our community, by our community. So this was used for, let's see. It was created by a couple people, but Shehab made it for us for the Founders Day. And as far as the coloring goes, I basically made it to where, it would be more customized for our Founders Day that we had last summer. Yeah, you can hear the sounds like someone sodomizing an angry badger. Yes. That is some background noise. It's inspirational because she comes from a very dark and mysterious past, a lot of pain and misery. So that stuff in the background is definitely there and present. It's not very nice. It's supposed to be kind of gruesome, but that is a sound engine where I can change the pitch and kind of make a collage. So it's supposed to be a suffering individual, and it does sound like he's suffering. So definitely got that going on. All right, so I'm kind of getting together my gear. Now, when I have the 5th edition rule set loaded, and I actually have this background and class equipment bundle, so I'm going to enable parcels. And what this does is it makes it easier for me to add all the starting equipment and the background equipment. So it'll probably double up on my armor, in which case I'll just get rid of the standard armor. So if I click parcel, now I have all these choices, and she has the urchin background. So I'm going to drag this up here. And she ended up getting some a knife, disguise kit. Let's see. She got a map, pouch, a token, you know, just a few little things from her background. And then I'm also going to give her a rogue starting equipment. And this gives her a whole bunch of stuff. So right off the get-go, I'm going to get rid of the leather armor, because I already gave her +1. She has 2 oil flasks, 2 daggers, candles, some clothing, disguise kit. She has some ball bearings. So right off the bat, I'm going to put those in the pouch. And there's her backpack. I'm going to get rid of the arrows. She doesn't use arrows. Well, she might, but I think she's going to use the crossbow. So I'm going to get rid of the arrows and the short bow in favor of a mechanical. So I'm going to do that now. Let's see. So crossbow. There's the bolts. Crossbow bolt bolts. So she's going to have 20 of those. And here's the case. Oh wait, that was the case. I need the bolts. There we go. So crossbow bolts. And then I'm going to put those in the case. All right. It's got string, 5 days worth of food, a rapier. Does she want a rapier? Sure. It's a cool weapon. Quiver, yes, no. She doesn't need a quiver. Tinderbox, token. I'm going to give her 2 water skins. And she's a hooded lantern, a small knife, a hammer, disguise kit, 2 daggers, crossbow bolt, and a case. So I'm going to give her a light, or no, maybe a hand crossbow. Yeah, it's more disguisable. So she's going to have a hand crossbow. There we go. And there's the case. There's her candle. She has a bell. Like, oh, she can set up a warning system. She has a hammer and python so that she can climb. She has some rope. And let me see if there's any other rope. Yeah, I'm going to replace her big heavy rope, which is 10 pounds. I'm going to give her 50 feet of silk rope. So that weighs 5 pounds. So it's quite a difference. So now she's got 2 sets of thieves' tools. So if she loses a set, that's fine. That's only a couple extra pounds. The token comes from her background, so I'll have to decide what that it really means. And let's see. I'm going to start filling up her pouch. So I put a few small things in there, like the string. Okay. Anything large or larger is going to go in her backpack. So you notice I'm not putting any of her weapons in there. It's just all her stuff. And I'm not putting her armor in there either. So now it's all organized. So now I don't have to worry about a big jumbled mess. I'm going to give her a few more coins. She has 22 gold, 11 silver, 13 copper, 1 electrum, 1 platinum. She's got a little bit of coinage on her. So now, let's see. She has this assassinate ability. So I'm definitely going to be looking at that later. Bonus proficiency. So when she has this archetype, she gets disguise kit and the poisoner's kit. So I need to add that to my abilities. So here. So her poisoner's kit's based on wisdom. And she also has the kit in her inventory. So I've dealt with that. Let's see, bonus proficiencies. I've already dealt with that. Cunning action. I'll put that over here. Expertise. I've already dealt with that. Roguish archetype. This just tells you about that. Sneak attack. I'll definitely be putting that on here. Thieves' cant as a language, or like a body language and such. And then uncanny dodge is already dealt with. She has menacing, which is her intimidation skill. She already has that. Relentless endurance. When you reduce to 0 hit points. Okay, so I need to keep that over here. And savage attacks. So it says when you score a critical hit with a melee weapon, so it's melee only, not ranged, you can roll one of the weapon's damage dice one additional time and add it to the extra damage of the critical hit. So what that means is I'm going to go to the Actions tab, and first of all, let me update my ammo. So 20 hand crossbow bolts, 2 daggers, and a rapier. Alright, so up here where it says weapons, I'm going to open this up, and this is the metadata. So for this, she gets the extra crit dice on melee only. So I get 1 extra crit dice because of savage attacks. So that's that. So that takes care of that. And let's see. So at 5th level, that's nice, but what about the choice, which armor, which sword and such? Or does the parcel just gives you everything that is normal? Basically, there's a list A and a list B for starting equipment. And since you don't necessarily have to keep those, I chose to swap those out with other items. So instead of dragging over everything, hey, how's it going, Ninja? Instead of dragging everything over at once, at one time, and one at a time, basically, that will drag everything over, and you can build your own parcels. So if you don't like what's in the parcel, you can start building your own. That way, when you build characters, you're not constantly grabbing the same things over and over and over. So you can change that. Oh, that's good to hear, Ninja. Yeah, right now I'm building a half-orc assassin, and she's going to be 5th level. So that's what I'm up to right now. And I'm about halfway, if not 2/3 of the way through the build. And let's see. So I'll worry about experience points later. Let's see. So she's got her main stuff. She has dark vision. All her skills are dealt with. She has her features and her racial traits. All her proficiencies are listed here. So she gets simple weapons, hand crossbows, long swords, rapiers, and short blades. She knows common and orc. Here's her equipment's all done. Now, do you want to add a couple more things for her inventory? So I'm just going to give her a regular cloak and a hooded shirt. So her common clothes, dark with hood. I'm going to give her that, but I'm going to get rid of the regular common clothes. So now she has one that has a hood. So she's got her cloak. I'm going to change the background. This is kind of hard to see. So I'm going to change it to the night background. I think being at 5th level, she's probably like 27. She's probably 5'10". And 150 pounds. Her size is medium. I'm going to make her neutral evil. You must spell this correctly. I had it spelt wrong, so make sure. 27. I haven't picked her deity yet. I think in her background, I'm going to go ahead and select here. All right. So she hides scraps of food and trinkets. She asks a lot of questions. I like to squeeze into small places where no one can get to me. That sounds feasible. I sleep with my back to a wall or a tree. That might be a thing. Eats like a pig, has bad manners. Definitely. So I'm going to use this as one of her. And then I bluntly say what other people are hinting or hiding at. I can see her doing that. So that's that. Now I'm going to pick her ideals. She wants respect, community, change, retribution. People. I help the people who help me. That's what keeps us alive. I think that sounds good. The bonds. My town or city is my home. I'll fight to defend it. I sponsor an orphanage. I owe my survival to another urchin who taught me to live on the streets. Probably that. I owe a debt I can never repay. Somebody took pity on me. I probably would use that too. I escaped poverty. No one else should have to endure the hardships I've been through. That sounds good. Okay. And flaws. When I'm outnumbered, I'll run. Gold seems like a lot of money to me. I will never fully trust anyone other than myself. Definitely her. So she doesn't have too much trust in anybody. Here is a log sheet for Adventure League. Okay, so now I'm gonna build her her special abilities and such. So right off the get-go, I'm going to create another section. So I'm calling it consumables. And I've clicked over here to make sure this is updated. Now I'm going to click on the star a few more times. And I'm going to copy and paste. There we go. So you notice I put a poison in here. See, candles, healing potion, oil, flasks, rations. She's got candle and oil, rations, and her water skin. I'm going to add one more. And this time I'm going to add another poison. So both poisons are going to be different. And that should be it for consumables. So I went out of the edit mode, and now I'm going to change to preparation. Now I need to change these to once. Now when I change this over, now we have usages. I'm going to add basically healing potion. So I'm going to add action. I'm going to add the heal. And I'm going to right click on the 4-sided dice, click 2, drag those up. Put 2 in the bonus area because that's what this potion does for healing. Now the poisons, I'm going to have to develop what those do, but basically I'm going to create those kind of similarly. And if I go to actions, there'll be buttons for the poisons too. All right. So what else we got going here? Okay, now I need to put the assassin abilities on the sheet and the rogue type stuff. So I'm going to again make a new section by clicking add power. Now this is going to be her rogue abilities, assassin abilities. Okay, so I'm going to go to the spells area. And I'm going to look for 5e effects coding class feature. And here are all the features here for different classes and such and builds. But I'm going to look for rogue. Okay, so she gets assassinate. Wait, that's blind sense. There we go. So she gets assassinate. She gets sneak attack. And uncanny dodge. And her sneak attack ability is probably fairly high. So I'm going to have to modify that. So here, standard one gives you an extra d6. I need to edit this. I think it's a 3d6 instead. I got to look it up. So I'm going to go to her class, which is this rogue. And if you scroll down to about the center, 5th level, yeah, she gets 3d6. So 3d6 is her damage, or sneak attack. Now if I didn't edit that, it would stay as 1d6. And if she gets advantage on attack, if she gets a surprise round, then the hit will be automatically critical. So that is cool. So that's usually like the first attack they make. Oh, that's awesome. Uncanny dodge, she can resist things, and it's pretty awesome. Pretty much got that. So uncanny dodge, sneak attack. That's her cutting action. Will be, yep. So Okay. So this is more or less going to be a note. So I don't really need to make a big deal out of it. But I am going to add it to her abilities. So it's really not an effect, but it gives the player the description. So uncanny dodge, cunning action. So that takes care of that. And the assassinate thing says at 3rd level, when you get the drop on your enemies, you have advantage on attack rolls against any creature that hasn't taken a turn in combat. In addition, if you score a hit and that creature is surprised, it's automatically forced as a critical. That's awesome. So that's one of the assassin abilities. So now I'm going to look at standard actions. So I'm going to make a new section. Again, I'm clicking on the blue star. Okay. And now I'm going to drag these over. All right. So these are just notes basically, but those are actions that you can do in addition to or instead of. So that's done. Now I'm going to do her racial abilities. So I'm going to change these class features, race trait, and I'm going to look for Half-orc, relentless endurance. So that gives her healing. Okay. So when she's dropped to 0 hit point, I can drag this to her and it automatically gives her the +1 hit point, and you have to do a long rest to recover that. So it's already set up as 1. So let me check the duration and such. So let's see. Yep, set as once daily. So that's right. So the actual build of the character is pretty much done. I just need to develop the poisons. So let's see. She's a 5th level assassin. And let's see. She has the ability to basically create poisons and such. So I'm going to give her, I don't want to be overpowered. So let's see. I think by giving her just a poison that does a little bit additional damage, it's like 1d6, half on save or something like that. So I'm going to go to the actions tab and I'm going to go to this poison. I'm going to right click on it and I'm going to add first this add effect. And what I'm going to do there is, actually I don't want to effect, I don't think. Let me think about this. So this would add the poisoned condition. So that is why I want this. So we're going to call this is a mild poison, I guess, or a standard poison. And I want to look what it says in the items too. Potion of poison, or poison basic. Okay. So it says a creature hit by the poison weapon must make a DC 10 con save or take 1d4. Once applied, the poison retains potency for 1 minute before dying out. Okay, so applying the potion or the poison takes an action. So I have to remember that. So I'm going to put in parentheses if I use that to remember that it takes an action. And it lasts 1 minute. Before it dies out. Its target. Okay, so that's that. But this is the condition. How long does the condition last? It just says 1 minute, basically. So you can coat 1 slashing or piercing weapon up to 3 pieces of ammunition. Okay, so applying the poison takes an action. So I'm not going to really put the poison condition because this is actually just damage. So I'm just put DMG 1d4. So let's see what that looks like. Alright, so here's the poison. Yeah, that's not exactly what I wanted. But it basically gives them duration of 10 rounds. Okay. So that's that. I think I need to fix that though, because that's not what I wanted. So let me change that. So the condition is poisoned. Okay. And now I need to set up the damage, which is 1d4. So again, okay, that's the condition. Now I need to set up the casting of it, which is the force save. So I'm going to add action and cast. And basically, it's a save. So it's a Constitution DC 10. Fixed 10. And then damage, half on success, or does it, once applied, no, this isn't like, so it's not half on success. So it's either they save or they don't. And if they don't save, then I'm going to add the damage. So here, add action, add the damage, and this is going to be a simple 1d4 poison. So there we go. So you have 3 things here. You have the cast button. So she succeeded, but had she not, it would take 4 points of damage on her, and it would apply the poisoned action on her. But does it have a duration? That's what I need to know. So let me look at that again. Action, poison. Yeah, 1 minute. So that's good. So that'll last for 10 rounds. So that's good for that. So that's one poison that she could potentially have. So it's just a standard poison that she can apply to a weapon. And also in that case, you cannot use it as a bonus damage. So that damage gets applied after you've criticaled. So the poison damage doesn't get criticaled in with a critical hit. So you do all that first, and then you apply the poison damage. Okay. So this is standard. So now I'm going to make a lethal poison. So that's kind of like this drow poison here. So is it really lethal? Okay. So maybe this is sleeping instead. So this is a sleeping poison. So again, I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to set up the cast. So if they're hit by this thing, it takes an action to shake it awake. Okay. So the creature's unconscious while poisoned in this way. Okay, so what we're going to do is first set up the cast action. So I'm going to add action, set up action, add effect, which will be this cast. And what it's saying to do is it's a save based off of, let's see, Constitution. And it is fixed, and it is 13. And there's no save. And it cannot be in daylight. Well, this isn't exactly drow poison. I'm copying that. Or be poisoned for 1 hour. Okay. If the saving throw fails by 5 or more, they become unconscious. Okay, so I need to set those up. So that's this first part of it. This is just to see if it works after they've been hit. So now I need to set up the condition, which is an effect. So I'm going to do sleep poison. So it's unconscious. So I have to remember, make sure it's spelled right. So C-O-N-S. This could last an hour, but if it doesn't, then they just awaken, you just remove the effect. The other half of it is a saving throw. So if they make the saving throw, they're just poisoned for an hour. Okay, I need to set that up. So I'm going to add another effect. So here is another action, add an effect. One hour. Okay, so I need to change this description here. So one's for unconscious, one is going to put sleep, one is poison. There we go, so it's not so confusing. So either one of those effects will take place depending on what they roll. And then for the poison itself, there's no description. So I'm going to steal this description here. There we go. That way the player wants to read what it does. That's that. Same thing with this poison. So this has a roll and 2 potential effects depending on what's rolled. So let me try this. So that's success. So that means I would apply the poison effect. And it lasts for an hour. Okay. So that's that. And the other one is if she doesn't save over 5 or greater. Let's see. So she didn't fail by more than 7, I don't think. So, or more than 5, so pretty close though, so that could have been a problem. But anyways, that's how you set that up. So there's a couple different poison varieties. She only has 1 vial of each so that it's not too overpowered. So she has the option of using the sleeping one, or she can use the standard, just a damaging poison. Either one makes them kind of sick, so that's a benefit. Also this regular poison here, the standard poison. I got this wrong. It needed to be a semicolon. And I need the description. So I have a blank here. So I'm going to take the description from the vial. That way, if the player uses his character, they'll know what to do. So that's that. So I have a couple different poison variations, and I have all the stuff set up. Now I'm going to go back into preparation mode. I'm going to give her 2 vials of the standard and 1 of the sleeping. And then far as weight goes, I'm going to put 3 vials in her inventory. So items. Yeah, so there's basic poison vial. So there's 2 of those. So those are in her pouch. And then I'm just going to have a regular vial, which contains her poison. The sleep poison. That way it keeps track of the weight. I think we're good to go. So we have, let's see. Yeah. So this is your assassin. So she has a rapier, 2 daggers, and a hand crossbow. She's got +1 leather, which gives her good armor class, for not wearing any. And then she has some poison, and some rations and 1 healing potion. And then she also has her relentless endurance in case she dies. And then she has her rogue abilities. And cunning action is just basically a note. So I don't really have to worry about that. And then you have your standard actions. So she's pretty much good to go. So that is how you make an assassin, including some of the custom potions and stuff that you can put on there. So she has a sleeping potion or poison and a standard poison that just basically does damage. So if you don't save, you take damage. If you do save, you take no damage. And she has ration and then water skin and all that good stuff. So I'm going to put her on the combat tracker. And then I think I'm going to pull up a map, kind of test her out for a moment. So I'm going to load up some modules. Probably a city or urban or something. Okay, so I think, let's see. Oh, actually, here's the School of Magic. So I'm going to say she snuck into this school and she's going to assassinate a wizard. That'll be cool. So, images and maps. Okay, so there's a courtyard in this magical college. And it's right outside of the alchemy lab, and then there's a place where the students have lunch. So I'm going to potentially have her take someone out. So I'm setting this up. That is that. So, let's see what else we got here. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to put her on here from the battle map, or from the combat tracker to the battle map. And she auto scales because there's already a grid on here. Who's this guy? Okay. So now I'm going to find an NPC. So here's a mage. And this guy's pretty tough. So I will put him in the encounter. And some younger mages. So let's see. There's a mage. And then yeah, I'll just put this one guy in here. Let's see, what else is there? Alright, so I'm just going to put this wizard in there. Wow, CR6. Yikes. Well, high profile target. So I'm going to go to the library. find a token. Instead of this letter M. Oh, cool. A whole bunch of wizards. There we go. Perfect. Now I'm going to send him to the combat tracker. So I'm going to place him over here and send him to the combat tracker. Okay. There we go. So all set there. Okay. So there is our assassin. So let's see what happens. So the assassin is sneaking in here. So I'm going to have her make a stealth check right off the bat in the dice tower. So his passive perception is 11. I don't know if he's expecting foul play, but I'm going to go ahead and roll her stealth skill against that. She rolled a 15, so she's good to go there. So I'm going to have her move. So she moves very quietly over to here. And that's her turn. So she's just frozen right now. The maid is just kind of he's hanging out having lunch. He's basically sitting at this table. So he doesn't suspect anything. Oh yeah, he's got a lot of good spells too. So he doesn't really know that she's there. So she's gonna try to move again. So she moves a little bit, stops, sees, checks her environment. So she's gonna make a perception check on her turn, her next turn. So she doesn't notice anything out of the ordinary, and she's gonna go ahead and move. She's gonna move another 15 feet with stealth, because you can't move more than half your movement rate when you're trying to be quiet. So she rolled really well, so no problem on her turn. Now the turn goes back. He's still sitting there eating. So she's going to move up. And I'm going to roll stealth again. Put a shortcut. That's survival. She rolled a 1. Holy crap. So she moves up to here. And her foot hits a loose tile. And it alerts the maid. He goes, "Is somebody there?" And he gets up. And he's looking around. Now he has to beat this 10 for his perception roll. So I'm going to go ahead and put this up. So that's a wisdom check. And so he says, "I heard you." I know you're there somewhere. So she's hiding behind this walled area, and there's a wooden fence, and there's this archway, and it's just like a garden, and he's over there. So he says, well, if you don't come out, I will. So he actually moves up to this area, and he casts a spell. So he's going to cast Mage Armor. And that's a first level slot. So he's used one of his first level slot. So he casts Mage Armor, and I'm going to roll her perception to see if she heard him casting. Yes. So let's see, perception. Yep. She noticed him mumbling some magical word, so she's staying put. He doesn't see her yet, but he knows that someone's over here. So he is going to move out here, and when he does, I'm going to have her roll a stealth check, and basically she's going to make an attack roll on him. So first I have to see if she is hidden or not. So I'm going to do basically a stealth check again. Oh my god. She rolled a 1. She totally failed. So she slipped on that stupid loose brick. And now I have to roll initiative for both. So initiative, roll all initiative. And Dafta is going to take out her rapier, and gee, she's in a kind of a predicament here. Let's see. It takes an action for her to coat her weapon, so that's not going to work. So I'm going to have to do an uncanny dodge. So that's her turn. So she's going to dodge and slowly move away. And she's not next to him, so she can do that. And on his side, he says, I knew there was somebody here. So he's going to cast Firebolt at her. It's a cantrip. And he missed. So his Firebolt didn't do anything. It kind of whizzed right by her. So then he ends up moving back this way. And he prepares to cast another spell. Daphne moves back here and tries to hide. So she's going to use her hide action, and she's going to coat her weapon with one of the poisons. So she's going to use a standard poison, or maybe the sleep one. Yeah, I'm going to do the sleep one. So that's what she's going to do on her turn. So on the other hand, he starts calling for help. So he does a Misty Step and ends up right here. And then he moves the rest of his movement and opens the door. So that's his movement. And Misty Step is a 2nd level slot. So he's used one of those. And he's trying to get out of here without problems. So that's his turn. Oh, and he can move in 5 feet. Okay, so that's that. So now she has a choice. She can either get out of here or try to finish her job. So I think what she's going to do is sneak over to the door, which is right here. and she tries the lock, and it is locked. So she's going to try to pick the lock, and she's trying to be stealthy. But you can only do one thing at a time, so with her thieves tools, she has to beat a DC of 12. And she rolled a 16 total, so the lock opens fairly easy for her, and she waits there. She doesn't move. So the mage, he moves this way, and I'm going to roll a perception for him, because he is alert. He knows something's going on. So he's going to roll a perception check against her stealth. And the last stealth roll that she rolled was, not too bad. So he rolled an 18. So he heard that lock click. So instead of doing anything, he's going to hold his action. But if anyone comes through that door, he's going to cast Magic Missile. So that's his. So at higher levels, when you cast this at second level, it will create one more dart. So he could potentially use another slot. We'll see. So he just waits to see if anything happens. So she also waits with her ear close to the door. She doesn't hear any movement. So she gets curious, and that kind of kills the cat. So she slowly opens the door, tries to sneak in, and she gets zapped. So the mage was prepared for this. So I go onto his sheet here. There we go. So Magic Missile, 3 of them, right off the bat. Luckily, she still has the dodge action on as her reaction, so that's good. But he missed, so he didn't do that much damage to her, but it did total 13, so that hurt pretty bad. So she's all full of holes now. So she's got her weapon coated now. So she's going to stand up and fire her crossbow. So that'll be her action. And I'm going to go ahead and drag it onto him. And she missed. Wow. Well, she has 2 other chances before she'd have to reapply the poison. So that's that. That sucks. So that was her turn. She's going to move over here. She's going to duck back down and hide behind the counter so she has partial cover. So that's her turn, and she's going to hide as her action. So that's that. The maid isn't going to play. He calls her out and he says, "I know you're there. Come on out, or you will face the wrath." So she just kind of keeps ducked behind there, and he uses Mage Hand to basically manipulate an object. So the Mage Hand can operate about 30 feet. So he's moving the Mage Hand. Let's see how far away this is. So visibility. So the Mage Hand is here, and it just kind of makes a noise to make her think that he's closer. So he's trying to freak her out, and that was a at-will spell. So she pops back up and realizes that she made a mistake. So now she's no longer hidden, and she needs to decide to make an attack or not. So she's going to try her hand at least once more. This time it worked. So now he has to make a save. He failed utterly. So now he is unconscious. So now she can walk over there casually and grab him. So it'd roughly take her 2 rounds to get to him. So she's going to take his spell components and kind of disarm him, tie him up. And now she has to plan her escape because he did call for help. So this is just a scenario to kind of illustrate and make sure the poisons are working. So it looks pretty good. So I think that's all I'm going to do for today. But I just showed you how to use the character sheet and also how to build a half-orc 5th level assassin. So hopefully that's helpful and kind of entertaining. I will talk to you guys later. Until next time.